What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Friday. You know what that means. We're going to be talking about WWE Ultimate Edition Series 4. And you know what? Our trend is continuing because for Series 1 through 3, one of the two figures has been released. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. This is just the intro. I know for a fact one of them has been re-released, and I think both of them have been re-released. But we're going to dive into that in just a second, so join me down the toy aisle. Alrighty, everybody. So our very first figure of, well, I guess two that we're going to talk about is the Ultimate Edition Series 4 Brock Lesnar. And this is when people were still loving the Ultimate Edition, but they were like kind of hard to find. They weren't really hitting retail at that point too well. You know, like you could find them, but it wasn't like you were guaranteed to see one, you know? And that is what made this figure go up in value. And then obviously it got very popular, and then they re-released it in July of 2022, so 2 years later, because we all know in 2020 the distribution was horrendous. So of course it's going to get re-released. And this was the definitive Brock Lesnar figure. You could argue still to this day, but definitely up until he got a new figure in the line, with the beard and the man bun ponytail situation he had going on, this was the Brock Lesnar figure to have. Not too bad, to be honest with you. As you see, it does come with 3 heads, comes with this beanie, a cloth Suplex City tank top. I don't remember if it had the Velcro on the back or if you had to pop the arms off and pop the head off in order to slide this on. It's fine with me, because when you do it that way, you're able to put a design on the back of the shirt and you're not like ripping it trying to get it off. Just, it makes it look better all around. And then when you have the Velcro in the back, it does make it look bulky. And I understand it's what you have to do majority of the time. But if you don't have to do it because you have the interchangeable arms, then it's a plus. He comes with the red Universal title, 3 sets of hands. What is it? It's got a fist, I'm assuming Mike holding hands, and then I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what other hands he could have. Maybe we'll see it in the pictures. But, yeah, let's go on and scroll down to see what we got. This is a pretty good figure, honestly. Now, this first head on the figure is really good, just straight face Brock. This middle head is, honestly, it looks like when they hadn't even started doing the meme faces at this point, but it looks like it. It looks kind of rough. Then the far right head, it reminds me of the head that was used on the WrestleMania 32 Elite throwback Brock Lesnar. That head, they would use it on his, like, not his Ruthless Aggression figure, but like anytime they did a throwback Brock when he was in the Ruthless Aggression, this was the head they would use. It's fine. I like this one over here on the left. That's me. But everybody has their own personal pick. The beanie fits well on it. I still cannot figure, like, those are like wide secret pants. Like, he could, if he was going for like a Kimura lock, then he could like grab his forearm, but his forearm looks bigger than the hand. I don't know. I might have to pull this bad boy out and figure out just 100. I think I took this figure, now that I'm thinking about it, when the new one got released, and I turned it into a UFC Brock Lesnar. I swapped the lower legs, I think. I'm going to have to go double check tomorrow. I'm going to have to double check. But that is fine. Let's go and scroll down just so we can get a better look at the, like, yeah, that's a solid figure. Let's get into some better shots than just the standard one. There's your this was a unique torso at the time, only used for Brock, and I think to this day he is the only person that has gotten that torso. I think so. Because they used a different torso for, like, Batista, Goldberg, the John Cena at the time. Like, they used a specific torso for those, but I don't think they've used this for anybody else. I kind of want to try this on a Batista, but the skin tones don't match. I don't know, but it does look good. Okay, so there is Velcro in the back of the shirt, unfortunately. I tried. The beanie seems to not fit that well on this head. It does have the Fear something Fury arm bands for the top of the gloves, I guess you could say. Like, we've seen that before. Solid figure, massive calves. Like, these pictures are really up close, but I don't know how to view them really without them being that close. Then he comes with the god-awful Universal title. I didn't like the red one. The blue one didn't bother me as much, but I did not like the red one. But yeah, that is Brock Lesnar. Now, we've talked about it before when they're doing the re-releases. If they have does this one have the butterfly joints? No, this one does not have the butterfly joints. So I'm going to pull up the re-release that was done in July of 2022 and see if the butterfly joints are on the re-release. Don't hold me to it because I've been proved wrong several times with this. So let's find out. All right, ringside, don't make me a liar. I'm a liar. No butterfly joints on this figure. So it is what it is. And you know what? That's the extra face. I digress. Now, I didn't even mention where this is from. This is from SummerSlam 2019. And off the top of my head, I don't know who the heck Brock Lesnar fought at SummerSlam 2019. I'm going to assume Roman Reigns. We're going to pull this up because that is, man, that was a long time ago. That was 6 years ago at this point. I'm trying to pull up the match card to see who exactly it was. Roman is the safe bet, right? Wow. Dolph Ziggler versus Goldberg was on the card. That is insane. Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. So, yeah, that is what this is based off of. And I'm going to see if Rollins always does great ring attire. I'm going to see if this is a gear that we have gotten in figure form to match the figure. It's kind of one of his weaker attires. No, that kind of blows, to be honest with you. Also, he lost this match. Brock Lesnar lost this match. So you have a figure of a guy from a match that lost the title. I digress. Let's get on to the second figure in the wave. The next figure in the wave coming to us all the way from Survivor Series 1997. Now, isn't that when they jacked the title from Bret Hart? Is it? Is it? Hold on. Like I said, this is before I was born. So I'm going to see when that was, just to confirm, because I don't want to tell you guys anything wrong. That was November 9th, 1997. So we know for a fact there has to be a Bret Hart from this specific night. This is a pretty big deal. But let's get into this Shawn Michaels here. Once again, at the time, I think this might have been a unique torso. It's not ringing a bell to me. Could be very wrong, to be honest with you. I started to retain the parts used a little later in the line because at this point I was not collecting the Ultimate Editions. Just also noticed that, and I guess Brock has the same. The double jointed arms are pins. So this is the infancy of the double jointed arms stage of the whole the upgrade from Mattel. And as you see now, I got this Jacob Fatu laying here on my desk. The double jointed arms are pinless. So that's all fine and dandy. That's it's nice to see the progression, and this was only 5 years ago. So let's get to the figure. Comes with 2 heads, 3 sets of hands, and his entrance attire, which is always a plus. It's always a plus. Looks good in the box. I like the smiling head scan. I've never liked this open mouth head for Shawn Michaels. Comes with C-grips, the kind of DX chop hands, we'll call it, and fisted hands. Rubber overlay for the top and cloth chaps, because who doesn't love some chaps in 2025? There it is in the box. Looks good, nice and vibrant. I think this was the first Ultimate Edition to have the chest hair, so a lot of people use those for customs. At the time, the Ultimates, you could torso swap them, like crack them open and put them on Elite bodies. So a lot of people were taking Elite lowers that they wanted and popping the Shawn Michaels torso onto the lowers, which is all nice and dandy. But let's get into the figure itself. And he looks awesome with the ring attire on. Has the Heartbreak Kid going right across the cheeks. It's a solid looking figure. And I don't know really what all to say about this because I'm just not familiar with the event or this version of Shawn Michaels. The Shawn Michaels I knew was retiring Ric Flair. That's when I got into wrestling. So, yeah, I was a late bloomer. But it looks so good. There he is with the ring attire on. This does, like I said, it has the pinned elbows, has the pinned knees, does have the toe joint. I didn't mention that on Brock, but he does have the toe articulation as well. That was from Series 1 onward. They all still have the toe articulation. And we even see it sometimes bleed into the Elite line. Because sometimes I guess that might be the only updated sculpt they have to use for certain people. Like I know Charlotte had an Ultimate, but then she also like had an Elite that had the Ultimate lower. So sometimes that might be the only option. But I find it weird they show the entrance attire only from the back. They don't show it from the front, which I think is strange. And you know what? I'm not even going to check. This figure was re-released in July of 2022, which is I think the same time Brock was released or re-released. So we're 2 for 2 with this wave, and we are 4 for 4 on there being a figure from the wave re-released. So that's just what it is. But once again, a solid figure. Not my favorite Ultimate Edition Shawn Michaels figure. We will eventually get to that down the road. As of right now, I think it's the Amazon one, which we might not get to, but it's the Amazon exclusive Shawn Michaels. So if you want to look that up on your free time, there you go. But that is going to be it for today's trip down the toy aisle. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and last but not least, take it easy.